Shiba Ayyadurai is a scholar attracting worldwide attention for finding evidence that the US presidential election is illegal. I will give a brief explanation of him before I start the video, and then you can decide to believe him or not. Dr. Shiva, an Indian American, is known to be a genius scholar who invented the emails when he was 14 years old, but it's not true. He just invented a paper-based interoffice mail system, and that software's name was email. On the internet, there are many sayings that he should not be trusted because he's a conspiracy theorist, so I found about it. He claimed that the coronavirus was spread by the deep state and accused Anthony Fauci, director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, of being a deep state plant. So the reason why he's known as a conspiracy theorist is because of his reference about C19. Also at the same time, he has a full master degrees and one PhD from the MIT and warned about the genetically modified soybean before. Dr. Shiva did live streaming on YouTube, which now received 23,000 likes and 600 dislikes. I will write down the link of this video in the description box so you can check it. Shiva Ayyadurai, a MIT PhD and a US statistician, found something shocking while analyzing presidential election data. Dr. Shiva says this calculated result shows that at least 69,000 votes have been changed from Trump to Biden in Michigan alone.
So what that means is Trump's vote total was decreased by 69,000 and Biden's vote total was increased by 69,000. In short, 69,000 votes were transferred from Trump to Biden in these counties. And they varied across those counties, but a total of 69 counties.
Dr. Shiva compared to those who voted for Republican Party in Michigan with those who voted for President Trump. This is because the Senate and House elections were held together with the presidential election.
One type of voting, but in Michigan, as I've come to learn, there's two types of voting. One is you can just go vote for an individual candidate. You walk in, you can say, I'm going to vote for Biden or Trump or candidate A or candidate B. Typically, independents may be like this. Or there's another thing called straight party voting. Straight party voting, which means you just go in and you say, I'm just going to vote for all Republicans or I'm going to vote for all Democrats.
In this graph, the blue dot above the red line means that voters choose a Republican Party and Trump's. The blue dot below means that voters choose a Republican but Biden.
If you look at this, if the center line, the red line, is Republicans, okay, straight line, because the reality is that anyone who voted Republican probably voted for Trump. So if you look at all these precincts, they should hover around zero, right? So for example, any one of these Republican straight party votes, if you looked up and you looked at what the Trump vote was, it should be close to zero.
If the votes and counting were carried out fairly, theoretically the blue dots would be evenly divided above and below the baseline, showing the situation of voters who voted for Trump and those who didn't. But in reality, most of the blue dots will appear on the above and sparsely below, as Republican supporters mostly choose Trump. At first, the Oakland County, Michigan had normal ratio, and then shockingly, the blue dot of groups more supportive of the Republican Party mostly fell below the baseline. This means that voters who were more inclined to support the Republican Party voted Biden, not Trump.
What's fascinating on this graph is common sense would dictate that as you moved across, you shouldn't see it go down. What this is saying is, for example, if you look down here on the bottom right here, this is a community that 80% or 75% of the people voted straight party Republican, which means 25% voted Democrat. But Trump is nearly 20% less than the mean here, or less than the Republican slate candidates, and so on. And more importantly, if you look at this data, it's not scattered. It's a beautiful line. But for some reason, which we'll talk about, right at 20%, it looks like his vote counts start getting linearly reduced. And if you look at this curve, and I've looked at lots of curves, Benny, you've seen a lot of these curves, Phil, right? Any one of us who's in the pattern analysis business, when you see this, it's immediately, if you look at these, you say something's up, okay? This is too structured, right? Too perfect.
This didn't happen only in Oakland County. These graphs were also seen in the Macomb County and were found in the Kent County too. But in Wayne County, there was a graph that's very different than others. In Wayne County, a Democratic stronghold, Republican supporters choose President Trump by more than 10%.
Look at this. When you put the Trump line, it looked like Trump was doing 10% better. Now, these are predominantly Detroit.
At the end, he said that these statistics are only available through algorithm. Also, the Election Commissioner Albany, who broadcast it together, say the graph seems to have been made artificially.
What we're saying is that beautiful point where it's nice and flat, Trump's actually doing well in non-Republican precincts, and then it's like a switch gets turned on and it goes down linearly. Our position is that could only be done by a computer algorithm in such a precise way over so many precincts, okay? It's not like because over so many precincts, you'd see some random fluctuations. You don't. You see a nice little line going there.
Then that number would just grow further in the size, and that line and that slope would continue to go down. And that is literally the presence of something that is not, it's barely germane to something that's natural. It's something that's artificial.
On last tenth, Dr. Shiva delivered these contents through live streaming, which was watched by 400,000 people on YouTube and over 900,000 people on Twitter. He tweeted these statistics to President Trump and Biden at the same time and asked them to review. Our analysis in Michigan indicates a computer algorithm was likely used to transfer 69,000 votes. We are willing to subject our result to a critical and transparent review with your representative. Are you open? However, this tweet received a notice saying that this claim about election fraud is disputed. At the same time, some netizens outraged by big tech's behaviors are moving to censorship-free social media Parler instead of Twitter. It is also attracting great attention that the Parler currently ranks first in download on both Google Play and Apple App Store.
We need to build something that is truly in integrity with who we are as people that this country was supposed to be built on. Freedom, a voting system that has integrity. This system is also supposed to be built on people actually work for a living.
What do you think about Dr. Shiva's claim? All the time appreciate your like and comments. Thanks for watching. Be safe.